Okay, today I want to make a little response video to the big changes coming to SoundBridge and to the video of our friend Audio Tech TV that Zane, I think his name is. I always appreciate his content very much. And to take a listen to the view that he takes here about the changes coming to SoundBridge, which used to be a free DAW that now became a paid DAW. I don't really agree completely with their policy. I think that there are some other ones that are doing it better. Cakewalk, for example, is doing it much better, and I think also the business idea of traction waveform is much more fair and much more. I think within the reality of what a DAW should cost and how you should appreciate your fan base with a not so known DAW, and then compared also to other free DAWs or paid DAWs that are available. But let's just listen a little bit here to
Have we
Zane.
lost another free DAW? Kind of. There's some big changes coming to SoundBridge, so let's find out about those. But will SoundBridge still be free? And the answer is there will be a free version of SoundBridge, but there's going to be some limitations, which we'll look at in a second. Also, the Rhythmix drum machine and the Record arpeggiator will no longer be free, except for 30-day free trials. So in this new free version of the SoundBridge DAW, you're going to have a limitation of just 10 tracks. So if you're somebody who doesn't use more than 10 tracks, then you can continue to use it the way you normally do. And so far, it looks like the 10-track limitation is the only limitation in this new free version of the SoundBridge DAW. Now, what if you...
Now, just to comment on that, I was myself also a user of SoundBridge. I haven't used it very long, and I was an extensive user of Rhythmix. And for me, the whole problem with this thing is that SoundBridge sold itself as being a free DAW, but they were receiving donations. And you know, when you created the SoundBridge account and you wanted to use SoundBridge or Rhythmix or the other program, I think there's Arpeggiator or something, another program is also from them that I, by the way, never used. Then you were automatically forced actually into all the time logging in online. So that is actually already a little bit weird for a free DAW. That was one of the first things for me that pushed me away from SoundBridge, that I had immediately that something strange is going on over here. So I quickly started using traction waveform, and I was already using a Cakewalk, and I have myself a license of Bitwit, so I was already using that, and it's a little bit like this. They started a community and they sort of presented it all as being a free thing, and then people were making all the time donations, and now they have built up a little bit their DAW. They decided to start charging for it and build up their company with the donations. So in one way or the other, they were crowdfunded company that are now gonna go commercial, and by that they're gonna exclude their free users that were also the persons who were the beta testers and were the people who were making donations. So over there I think already a lot of things are wrong, and then also in the pricing. But let's continue and listen further what Zane has to say.
If you have existing projects that have more than 10 tracks and you want to continue to use the free version, will you be able to open those projects? And the answer is yes. You can open those older projects that have more than 10 tracks, but you're not going to be able to save any changes that you make with it. And the idea here is so you can export your stems and your audio in order to work on it in another DAW if you should choose to leave SoundBridge, or just so you can open up those projects and see what they were. But for hardcore users of SoundBridge right now and future users of SoundBridge, I think a paid version will be a good thing. And here's why. Because now that you're going to start to generate some money and getting some money behind this program, you can really start to work on it and make things even better. And when they launch the paid version, it is going to be a more updated version than what you have right now. So already that's a good thing. But I think the more money they start to get behind them, the bigger and better that the SoundBridge DAW will become. And now
Now, I also have an issue with this, is because to say, well, we're not going to lose any clients. First of all, you're going to lose clients, but they're not paid clients. But they were paying in donations and they were paying in being the beta testers. And then to be saying that there are this is a good business model, and no, it's actually not. It's because, for example, Cakewalk is going to stop also by BandLab, but the old users can continue using it. In SoundBridge, not. You cannot use the program anymore. Only with a limitation of 10 channels, and then Rhythmix removed, and then that other appreciator program removed. That you need to pay another 140 euros for Rhythmix extra, and then another 90 euros for that appreciator program extra, and then 180 euros for the actual SoundBridge program. And so but now they're excluding their free users, and you can much better look at least to what Cakewalk does. You can continue using it, you just don't receive updates anymore. The business model of Traction Waveform is even much better. There's a free version, there's a paid version with lots of plugins and instruments included and effects. And then there is a paid version that a premier paid version with much more things included in it. And you can even buy all those extensions extra on top of the free version. So you can buy the free version and you can buy little packages of 50 euros for getting all sorts of extra plugins and instruments and editing tools. So over there, they are not excluding their free users, and you can keep on buying sample packs on their site. You can, and the price of their DAW is not expensive, and their expenses that you can just apply on top of the free version, or you can buy the whole premium package, are actually very reasonable and much more worth it. Also, considering what they offer in their DAW. So, and then we shouldn't forget also one thing, and that is looking at, for example, programs like Fruity Loops, or we look to other paid programs. Fruity Loops is 200 euros, but you get a really full-fledged DAW with lots of extras and lifetime support. Here they go even in a subscription thing, and in 2 years you get updates, and then you don't get updates anymore. And we're talking here about a package that now starts costing you around 400 euros for everything with Rhythmix and with the appreciator included, which puts it all of a sudden in the category of a very high-end DAW, which they are not. They are not Reason, they are not Nuendo or Cubase, or Ableton is even cheaper, it's 399, or Bitwit. I'm sorry, but SoundBridge doesn't even come close to that. And then if you start even looking at Reaper for 60 euros, then and also the prices of their plugins, 160 bucks for Rhythmix, or 140 bucks for Rhythmix, and then 90 bucks for that appreciator program, and 180 bucks for that DAW. I'm sorry, I think that DAW is totally not worth it, and I think that in the long term, if they keep this business model, I think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. But let's continue to listen what Zane has to say, because for the rest I agree with everything. There's only one or two things I don't agree with, where he says it doesn't really matter that they excluded the other not paying people that are not prepared to pay that huge amount of money. I don't agree with that exactly, because I don't think that this DAW was set up like this, and they were crowdfunded. They were receiving, so I don't really think that it's very, very fair and honest, good business model. But let's listen and continue.
Now that brings us to pricing. What's it going to cost for this paid version of SoundBridge? And there's a few different ways you can go about this. So if you like lifetime perpetual licenses, you can purchase a lifetime license for the version that you purchase. So if you purchase SoundBridge 3.0, then you're going to have a lifetime license to SoundBridge 3 and any major updates that come out within 2 years of your purchase. So if they update to 4 or 5 within the 2 years of your purchase, you can upgrade to those versions, and you're going to have lifetime access to that. Now, the price for this will be $180. Now, after you initially spend that $180, If after the 2 years are up and you still want to continue with that update plan, it's only going to be $80 for every 2 years after that. And also to note about this lifetime license is that Rhythmix drum machine does not come with it. That's an extra $140 for the Rhythmix drum machine. And if you like the Record arpeggiator, that's another $90 on top of it. And those don't come with the lifetime license. Now, if $180 is a little too much to shell out right now, there are a couple of other ways that you can go about this, and you may not like them because it's through subscription. You can do a monthly subscription for just $10 a month, and this also includes the Rhythmix drum machine and the Record arpeggiator. So you get all three programs for $10 a month, or if you prefer, you can do it annually at $100 per year. So you're saving a couple of months if you go annually, and you get those Rhythmix and Record programs with it. So there is a little more incentive to maybe do the subscription if you like those two programs.
First of all, I don't think that's a good package price at all. I really don't think so. I don't think that 180 euros for SoundBridge is worth it, and I don't think that many people are going to go into that direction. They're going to think they're going to go exclusively to another DAW. And to receive two plugins, don't get me wrong, Rhythmix is literally one of the best, used to be one of the best free drum machines for DAWs, and it still is one of the best drum machines for DAWs as a VST plugin. But to be saying that this is worth $140 or $160, I don't think so at all. I'm sorry, it's not. And there's even free or much cheaper alternatives that will do the job just fine. And I don't see many people actually buying that. So over there, I think it's already wrong. And then going to subscription-based, I'm sorry, but I think as a second option it is okay, but their pricing model doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and I think they keep on forgetting their community, that most of it existed out of people because it was a good free DAW and people made donations and were the guinea pigs, the beta testers. So there you go. I don't think that that model is very good. And also what Zane is going to say over here about that it doesn't really matter that the free clients disappeared because they will never buy it anymore. To start with, to go from something that's free, because all of it was free, Rhythmix and arpeggiator and SoundBridge, to something that all of a sudden costs you 400 euros, and then exclude actually your beta testers and the people who have crowdfunded it by giving donations. I don't think I really agree with that business policy. And then also putting yourself against the most advanced high-tech DAWs over there for 400 bucks, including two plugins. I don't think it's a good deal at all, to be very honest. But let's continue.
SoundBridge going to lose a lot of users? Yes, of course they're going to lose a lot of users because a lot of people use that program because it's free, and it's a great program for free. But if you look at this through their business plan, losing all of those users who never planned on paying anything for SoundBridge really isn't losing the company anything, maybe some fans, but that's about it. And the real hardcore SoundBridge fans who stick around and they pay the money, and of course they're going to start to attract some new SoundBridge fans, those people are actually generating the company some money. So yes, they're losing some users, but they're not losing money because of losing those users. So what about...
Yeah, and over there I think that SoundBridge went really in the wrong direction, because they have created this DAW by their free users, and their free users have paid donations for them to be able to make this software commercially available and viable for them to have an income. And so no, I don't agree with that at all, actually. I don't think that's the right way of looking at the thing. And also just looking at the fact that the other alternatives that are on the market, it's I think they're shooting themselves in the foot with this particularly business practice. I think they could better look to the model, especially that Traction Waveform have done, which used to be also paid, but they went then with a free version, and to then for you to buy the updates, which I would much quicker do. I myself, I have a full license of Bitwit. I have still a license of Sonar Platinum, a very old one, and I've still even some other Sony Acid. I have still a bunch of other licenses here for DAWs, but the one I'm lately mostly using is actually Traction Waveform, and then I use Bitwidth for the modulation things and for some features that I really like about Bitwidth. So only there I have only the 8-track version, so it's very limited. 8 tracks and 2 plugins you don't do much with, folks, and 10 tracks also. Yes, you can make music in it, but music with it, but you have to extremely compromise your music, and you have to bounce all the time things down and put them together in sub tracks and then record them on a track and then eliminate the other tracks to be able to make something decent. And it's really not good. It depends on what you're doing, of course. If you're just recording a bands or live audio or something, or you're just playing there around with 1 or 2 virtual synthesizers or something, or in that sense, then those kinds of limitations don't really matter, But if you want to produce really something a little bit extended and elaborated, then you need much more than 8 or 10 tracks, and also 2 plugins and another really good GUI and layout, and the workflow is not really so fast on SoundBridge. I don't really think they're gonna really keep up with what's for the rest available on the market, and their business strategy for me like this is really wrong. Also, just if you start looking at the community, how many people are there actually really using it, and how good they can level themselves against the big boys out there, that are on the market, and I'm talking about paid versions and even free versions. So, but let's continue to listen to what for the rest what he has to say.
About existing users who currently have SoundBridge on their computer, will that continue to work? It looks like no, because to use the program, you have to log in, and that goes through their licensing servers, and they're switching licensing servers altogether. So everybody's going to have to create a new SoundBridge account, and those old licenses are no longer going to work. And of course, these are all their initial plans before they've even launched this thing as a paid program. So things may change once they get a little data behind them, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with SoundBridge, not only at the release of their paid DAW, but in the future years, because I think it's going to grow and grow and grow and become one of those programs that a lot of people use. And if you are looking for a free alternative to SoundBridge that's unlimited, no restrictions.
And they're going to talk about, of course, about Waveform. That's one of the only... there are more free versions out there, but most of them are limited in 8 channels and no VST plugins or whatever. So yeah, we are losing a lot of free DAWs, and it's all now going subscription based. So they're all following the Pro Tools, the Avid method, and it's a little bit also. And this is the reason why SoundBridge always presented this software as a beta. Software, and why you always need to log in, because this was the plan from the beginning. We first give them something free, and then they get used to it, and then we'll take it away, and then they have to pay for it, which sounds sometimes a little bit like what a drug dealer does or something. Sorry, I have to formulate it like that, but that's a little bit what it seems like, and I don't really agree with this business policy. I agree with the fact that, of course, they are a company and they have to get their investments back, and they need to, and they would love to turn a profit, of course, but in the way they are doing this, it doesn't leave a good taste behind. And I don't think they are there also as a DAW and in popularity and in functions to be competing like this. So I don't really agree with this business model. And by the way, also many video games are like that. It's early access or beta, and we are all going to this kind of subscription model that I hate. I will never go into that. I will look, even if I need to use the most simple thing or free thing or whatever, even open source. I have paid versions of DAWs and of software. I use a lot of paid plugins, but if you go to a subscription model, I will stop using them. I will even go to open source or to Ardour or any other kind of DAW over there that's still open source, where I'm not forced into a subscription model. I don't mind paying for lifetime licenses. What, for example, Fruity Loops is fantastic in, and some plugin manufacturers also just give it to you a lifetime license still. And then lifetime updates, that's another story. If they need to invest really in updating something over the long term, not small updates, but significant updates that really add functionality and features to a software, then I can understand if they charge a little bit for an update over the years. But even the updates are going now into prices with Avid Pro Tools and with this program, $80 for 2 years. That's the price of a lifetime license for Reaper, you know. I mean, and then 180, you put $20 on top of it, and you just buy Fruity Loops, or you buy any other DAW out there that you can buy for $200. I think Ableton Live has a version for 200 that's pretty good. Cubase has one for 200 that's pretty good. Presonus or whatever the name of that company is. There are so many options, though. I don't think they're really gonna manage this very, very, very well. So there you go. We're going to a world of subscription based and trying to get rid of lifetime licenses, and now software and your digital audio workstations or your plugins you don't own anymore. They own, and you need to keep on paying them for the rest of your life. And otherwise they flip the switch. So there you go. My opinion about this whole story about SoundBridge, and also a little bit about Cakewalk, but Cakewalk at least does it in a different way. They have this two new versions coming out. So here you have, by the way, the login screen of Sound gets your DAW for free, but you have to always log in with an email and password, and when you download it, it says there that it's a beta, and all the plugins also, it's a beta, and this is how they got us all. And then if you say now get your free DAW, they say over here that they don't receive, how do you call that? Donations anymore from now. So if you want to buy this DAW, then no more donations are accepted anymore. So there you go. You know, I think it's really a shame that we're going to a world like that where you don't own nothing anymore. This is for me a little bit going the same to the right to repair, the right to own your own software. And if you want to have the option to rent it because you can't afford it, fantastic. But to force everybody into a subscription-based thing and cut perpetual licenses, and then also, you know, starting your company by donations, and then excluding the people who have donated and gave you the capital to invest in your software and to make your company and your product commercially viable, for me doesn't taste well. So, but there you go. My opinion about SoundBridge and about the subscription-based model that all companies are going to know anyway. This is, by the way, Waveform. You can get the free version, you can get the pro version. They're very affordable, and there's 2 or 3 categories of pro version. A normal one, a pro, and I think a pro premier that go to between, I don't remember exactly what the prices were, but I think it goes one version is like 200 or something. Then there's another version of 500, and there's another version that is like $100 that you can sometimes get on discount for, I think it's like $40 or $50 or something, or $60, something like that. And then you can buy all the expansions. You can just buy separate. So if you want expansions for it, you know, for your DAW, you can buy this one for $50. DJ Tools. Then you have here Pro Video is $50, so you can work with video clips and stuff, and sync up the music or whatever. I don't even know exactly how that works. I don't work so much with video, but Recording Engineer is another $50. This gives you extra features. Then MIDI Producer, this for me is the most interesting one. You get Pro MIDI, Chord Track, macros, modifiers, faceplate, multi-sampler, drum sampler, subtractive synthesizer, and a bass OSC for $50, which is really nice, and a synth pack here that this one also doesn't really make sense because the ones that are over here are actually included over here. So here you get the same ones plus more the Pro MIDI and the chord and macros, modifiers and phase shapes. So this package is much more worth it because this package for $50 have these ones included for 50. Oh, this was only $30. Oh, well, that is then worth it. Sorry, my bad over there. But I think their model is much better. So there you go. My opinion about subscription-based and SoundBridge going to a commercial paid version. And there you go. Until the next time, catch you soon.